Imagine trying to build a secure, prosperous future for tens of millions of young people in a rapidly developing nation. It's a monumental task, right? Well, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the fascinating and, honestly, massive landscape of youth development initiatives over in Bangladesh. We're going to dive right into the data to explore how everyone, from giant national organizations down to hyper-local grassroots networks, is actively working to shape the destiny of the next generation. So, here's our roadmap for today to help us see the full picture. We'll start with a broad overview of youth empowerment in Bangladesh, then look at health and family planning, dive into the Jatiya Tarun Sangha, map out the NGO support network, and finally wrap up with targeted youth services. Let's get into it. Part 1. Youth Empowerment in Bangladesh, a broad overview. We're starting our journey right here with the big picture. At its core, youth development in Bangladesh isn't just some single isolated program. It's really a massive, multifaceted ecosystem. You've got health initiatives, socioeconomic training, and highly targeted support all woven together for different demographics. The key takeaway, there's definitely no one-size-fits-all approach here. Instead, it's this complex, overlapping safety net designed specifically to catch young people before they fall through the cracks of a rapidly changing society. Moving on to Part 2, Health and Family Planning. Let's look at an absolutely critical piece of this puzzle, health and reproductive rights. So the Family Planning Association of Bangladesh, or FPAB for short, is a true pioneer in this space. They were founded way back in 1953, and they took this incredibly forward-thinking step in 1996 by setting up specialized youth clinics right at Dhaka Medical College. I mean, think about that town line for a second. Having dedicated adolescent reproductive health clinics in a developing nation in the mid-90s, that's a surprisingly progressive milestone, showing a highly structured medical approach to youth health right out of the gate. And what makes FAP's work so effective is their rights-based approach. This was and is a massive paradigm shift. Instead of the traditional top-down lecture style, this framework is all about the acceptance of young people's sexuality. It ensures their active participation and actively works to wipe out discrimination and violence. By breaking down those rigid, culturally entrenched barriers, they can actually deliver necessary stigma-free health education directly to the youth who need it the absolute most. Next up, Section 3, Jatiya Tarun Sangha. We're shifting from health planning over to a foundational grassroots network. You know, almost every massive network has a humble beginning. Back in 1966, the Jatiya Tarun Sangha started as this highly localized community effort in the Hazaribagh area of Dhaka. But, well, they didn't stay small for long. Fast forward to today, and this initiative has completely evolved into a massive nationwide powerhouse. It's just a fantastic example of how localized passion can organically scale up into a massive network dedicated to the holistic development of youth across the whole country. You can really think of this organization as the Swiss Army knife of community development. They absolutely do not stick to just one lane. Their core focus stretches across education and literacy, crucial socioeconomic development, and vital healthcare initiatives. But they don't stop there. They also step in with practical agricultural training and provide critical relief and rehabilitation during natural disasters. They're basically intertwined with almost every single aspect of community survival and long-term improvement. So how do they actually pull all of this off? Well, they use a highly logical three-step intervention model. First, it starts with awareness building, laying down that critical mental groundwork. Second, they move into skill training, physically handing over the tools and knowledge. And third, they emphasize practical application. They're not just leaving young people with theory. They facilitate putting those brand new skills to work in real community projects, like planting trees or setting up local poultry farms. It's a complete start-to-finish cycle of empowerment. All right, Part 4. The NGO support network. Let's branch out from these central organizations and look at the massive nationwide safety net provided by non-governmental organizations. This safety net is truly decentralized. As you can see, you have highly localized NGOs operating independently in every single division of Bangladesh. We're talking Pathakrit in Dhaka, Nari Kalyan Sangsta in Rajshahi, all the way down to Anirban in Chattagram. And this hyper-local presence, that's really the secret sauce. It allows these incredibly dedicated groups to tailor their educational and economic efforts directly to the unique cultural nuances and specific regional needs of the exact communities they're serving. Now, when you look at the major national players, the sheer scale is honestly staggering. BRAC alone reaches over 68% of their target youth demographic. Asha reaches 60%, and CARE sits right at 50%. Just try to wrap your head around the logistical capability here.
The thousands of on-the-ground workers and the funding required to maintain this level of nationwide coverage, it's an absolute mammoth undertaking to make sure these young demographics actually have the support they need.
And finally, Section 5, Targeted Youth Services. Let's zoom in on the actual individuals and see how these broad programs translate into specific services on the ground. So, what does this actually look like for a student on the ground? Well, for those who are already fortunate enough to be in the educational system, the focus shifts to turbocharging what they're already learning. These programs are specifically designed to provide advanced skills, boost highly sought-after technological proficiency, and integrate these students into voluntary social work. The ultimate goal? To build strong civic engagement so they become active, contributing leaders in their communities. But true empowerment means leaving absolutely no one behind. The system adapts drastically based on a young person's starting point. While student youth receive advanced tech skills and vital scholarships, uneducated youth are offered completely different, yet equally essential lifelines. We're talking basic trade training, microcredit opportunities to start small businesses, and incredibly practical skills like motor driving. This dual approach guarantees that literally everyone has a pathway to economic independence.
For those outside the formal schooling system, this support looks like a highly structured wrap-around embrace. It's this powerful combination of self-development counseling to rebuild shattered confidence, open education services to bridge early literacy gaps, and rehabilitative programs for those who might have stumbled along the way. Coupled with direct employment placement, these services aren't just nice-to-haves, they are absolutely vital lifelines for their long-term survival and integration back into a thriving society.
We've mapped out an incredible, multi-layered ecosystem today, from grassroots tree planting to massive nationwide health and NGO networks. But the world is changing faster than ever before. As artificial intelligence, climate challenges, and global economies rapidly shift, it leaves us with one vital question to ponder. How will these foundational historical frameworks evolve to empower the next generation of leaders in Bangladesh? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning and keep learning.